Hi, good morning. This is Mamade into Everything Communication, and I come at your door once again. So let's learn about something this morning. So have you heard of Pavlov's theory of classical conditioning? During this theory, Pavlov rings a bell, attaches it to a food, and with a dog. And when the dog sees the food, it begins to salivate. Anytime he rings a bell, so constantly he rings a bell and then attach it to a food, and the dog begins to salivate. He does that continuously, and then now at a point in time he rings a bell but does not bring a food, and the dog begins to salivate. He rings a bell, he does not attach the food, and the dog begins constantly salivate. So that means that removing the attachment, the dog has now been used to the bell being rung as being attached to the food. So automatically, if the bell is rung, definitely it is the food that is present, or food has come. So then I have to salivate, right? All right, so I think we're all on the same page. Drawing from there, you realize that when it comes to men in general, at a point where females were not empowered or had opportunity or access to be where we are now, or to be the highest and truest expression of ourselves, you realize that things like wealth, independence, affluence, higher academic achievements, or like things of that has been attached to the masculine gender, the male gender. That's what has been attached. Definitely, that's the conditioning, right? If we talk about wealth and all of those things, you see a man. That's how come if I said that I went to see a surgeon today, someone would definitely think that it was a male. I went to see a doctor, it will not occur to the person that it was probably a female, unless someone that has only. So that is the attachment with the male gender. Anything of the examples that I've mentioned or highlighted is attached to masculinity, the male gender, generally. And when it comes to females, being subservient, being controlled, sort of being humble, listening, being a person that gives a lot of room for people and all of that, taking care of people and all of those things are attached to the female gender. So that makes you feminine, right? Exactly. So I think we're all on the same page. So at a point in time where a female, for now that we have had the opportunity, or women have fought their way through to be empowered, to participate in all indexes that contributes to our life sustenance and then development, basically, having the opportunity to be empowered and engage actively in economic, political, name it, all these activities that cut across life and living, you realize that if a woman is achieving academically, is wealthy, is independent, financially stable, she's sort of seen masculine. Sort of seen with a masculine energy. Like, that is how they attach her and condition her, because for a time that is how we see them. And that's how come if a man also is quite subservient, allow rooms for people, humble, and someone that gives room. Should I say easily controlled? I don't want to put it that way because that's questionable. We call them Jimmy To. Jimmy To Pao. Pardon my words. That's how we call them. They are the simps. That's how we know it in the space. Why am I saying? So this is actually in relation to the video I posted this morning, right? So if a woman is really achieving in these areas, she doesn't even have to say a word, but because she has these things, she's already tagged masculine. She may not be someone who will be, able to submit. She may not even obey her husband. She may not even listen or respect and all others, because men are triggered. That's this. I should be in that space and not the female. She rather should be in the other conditioning. I hope you get it clearly. Okay, so I was speaking to my sister, a cousin this morning, who is a headmistress, a teacher, a headmistress in an SHS school. And can you imagine that even at that level, when they are preparing their duty roster in the classrooms, the guys are complaining why they are also sweeping. And to the extent that some of the females are even, questioning her that, Madam, why is it that you are adding the boys? Are you sitting in the air? Like, are you hanging up in the air? Or you are in a different classroom? Probably you learn in the space. So these are conversations we should be having, like being able to do chores. All of those things is attached to the feminine, and the feminine gender. So that's how we've been conditioned. So men even feel like they do not. What I am saying is that let's come to a situation, a society where collectively both females, I know that definitely most of us aspire to be mothers, and the male gender as well, being able to detach themselves from that conditioning and unlearn. That's when they'll be able to appreciate that a woman coming from that side, a woman who has been able to actively participate in these activities and have earned themselves this pedigree, are deserving of it. And it does not make them look masculine in any way, because having these characteristics of being able to achieve these things in life is being human. Are we okay? Exactly. So let's come to a point where men would appreciate, because most men have not unlearned and have not detached from that conditioning. They are still salivating when they see when the bell is rung. So you would think that when they encounter women like that, these women do not even have to talk or say anything. Oh, she's proud. Oh, she's not going to respect. Oh, she's not going to submit. Oh, she's not going to be and all the BS that they talk about. Let's come to a point where men are able to detach themselves from that. And we women, as growing mothers, aspiring mothers, will be able to incorporate that into them, imbibe into them that having these things is just being human, and being able to do chores, being able to having a feminine energy, like respecting, being subservient, helping others, being caring, are also just being human. And now we can bridge the gap and talk about equality from there. That's the gap, and that's what I wanted to share. And if you're a woman and you're seen like that, do not worry and don't settle. You find someone who really understands you and someone who appreciates wherever that you have gotten to. Okay? Thank you for the audience, and this is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to Jesus. Amen.